What's up my friends, David Moss Jr. here, and in today's video we're going to do a full review of the SISU Sauna Eddy barrel. Now this is a two-person barrel sauna capable of reaching temperatures of 230 degrees with a really small footprint. Now I'm really excited to do this review, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Before we jump in, I think it's important to talk about the price of this. This is going to start at $69.95, and there's not a ton of options that you have to add to a SISU sauna because they went ahead and figured out all the options that people are going to want to optimize the experience of sauna use. So at $69.95, you're gonna get what you see here, except for the roof kit. Now, if you're gonna keep this sauna outside, that's the only option I would highly recommend is getting the roof kit, because what that's gonna do is put a waterproofing barrier between the sauna inside and the sauna exterior. If you live somewhere where it's gonna snow, it's a must as well, because it's gonna keep that snow from damaging your sauna. It's also super important to talk about the wood. Now, this isn't just any wood. This is cedar brought straight from Idaho, handcrafted in Amish country, Ohio. And that's actually where I'm at right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the minute details of this beautiful Eddy sauna. Okay, so before I get into the specifics of the Eddy sauna, I do want to share a funny story. So I'm actually here in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm in my new friend's backyard. My new friend is actually somebody, come on over here, Mike.
What's happening, guys?
So Mike actually watches some of my YouTube videos, which is really cool. He saw that I'm in Cleveland. We got to go work out this morning, had the opportunity to link up. And you have one of the newer SISU saunas. So
sir.
I just want to ask you, before I get into the specifics of this, what made you decide to go with the SISU barrel sauna?
So started the sauna journey with a infrared kind of plug-in that's been in our basement for about 4 years. It only gets to about 150. Kind of have to go in there sweating to get a good sweat. It's good, but you know, all the research and everything like that is kind of done on these barrels.
Do you notice a big difference going from?
Huge difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to spend a half an hour in the plug-in infrared to get a good sweat. Here, I'm trying to get to 20 minutes.
Yeah, right.
You know, if I go in there post-workout, if I go in there cold, it's 20 minutes is just about right. SISUs are built here. The quality of them, you can't beat. It's a great setup. So.
That's awesome, man. Well, thanks. Hey, thanks for letting me use your sauna in your backyard and your garage gym and your cappuccino machine.
Yeah.
You heard it from a SISU sauna owner right here, but I'm gonna go ahead and review it now.
Jump in.
Hopefully,
all right.
Hopefully it's good. So a few things to talk about on this one particularly. Now, he does have the roof kit, which is gonna weatherproof the sauna. The Eddy sauna is the little brother to the Edwin. Now the Edwin sauna, which I'll have another review on as well, that's the larger version of this, and we'll talk about that one later. But this is a two-person sauna that you could squeeze 4 people into if you needed. And from what I've experienced so far, it's actually really easy to do that. The bench is much larger than most barrel saunas, and the backrest, basically where you could sit sideways, is very, very flat. And there's not a lot of things that are gonna get in your way and make for an uncomfortable experience. But I wanna just talk about real quickly some of the things that separate a barrel sauna from a traditional square box sauna. So obviously at first glance, it's really aesthetically pleasing. It's a full-blown circle. Now I will fully measure this, but it is 6 foot by 6 foot. You do have a base at the bottom that's gonna keep it lifted off the ground if you do have it outside, keeping it off the elements, allowing water when it rains to kind of flood back underneath it and stay out of your sauna, which is really cool. The Eddy sauna is 4 feet wide, and once again, we'll fully measure that. But the cool thing about it being a barrel shape is there's a lot less volume inside. If you could imagine this thing being square, that's so much additional space inside the sauna that would need to be heated up. And when it's a barrel, it allows for a little bit more circulation of airflow, but also less space to have to heat up, which is really nice. A few of the features on the SISU sauna you get is you do get the flat floor right here. You get the 4 kilowatt, it's actually 4.5 kilowatt Huum drop heater, which is a great heater, tons of rock volume that you can use this bucket and ladle and allow these rocks to create steam once you're heated up, which is really, really nice. This is also connected to this beautiful little panel right here, which is very easy to use. You could push it, one button goes up to 230 degrees. You can literally set it to the exact temperature that you want. And all you have to do is literally press it one more time, and you'll see these little waves pop up above it. That means it's on. Press it another time, and that turns it off. There's also an app, and it's Wi-Fi capable, so you can turn this thing on, schedule it from anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection. So you can schedule your saunas, you can adjust it as you want to. Let's go ahead and jump in here. This is a 2-person sauna, and there's a bench on this side, which is a really large bench, and there's also a bench on the other side. So you've got 2 benches, and what I like about it is, yes, you could fit 2 people in here very comfortably. You could add a 3rd and 4th person as well. But if I was in here by myself, or if me and my wife were in here, I would actually really enjoy sitting like this on the bench, and the bench is really wide, so it makes this really comfortable. And this back piece, there's no additional wood sticking out where your back's gonna be, and I've experienced that in some of the other barrel saunas that I've reviewed. And last night I got the opportunity to do a little sauna session with some of the guys. I didn't get a lot of footage of it, but we had 5 people inside the larger barrel sauna, and it was so roomy. Like, we were able to sit like this. There was just so much additional room, and it was usable room. I really think having a wider bench makes that big difference, but also having all of the areas where your back would rest is pretty much flat, and the wood is really comfortable. There's one thing I've noticed big time on the SISU saunas is they take great pride in the wood they pick out, the cedar that they pick out. It's from Idaho. They select it, and then they're actually handcrafted and put together in Amish country, Ohio, which if you know anything about the Amish, they really take pride in their craftsmanship and making sure that things are really done well. And that shows. So I think it's cool that SISU is actually all made right here in the States. Literally everything is built right here in the United States of America in Cleveland, Ohio. And to my knowledge, they're one of the few sauna companies that actually is. A few other things to note about the inside is that you do have a really nice window on the back here. So depending on where your setting is, like, you can have this pretty much close to a wall, but it's kind of a nice thing. You could put pretty much anywhere that you wanted some natural light. So you've got a window in the back, you've got a window on the door in the front, and it lets a lot of natural light. As you can see, I don't have any lights in here, and it's just mid-morning, and there's a lot of light in here. So it's nice. I'm glad, because I'm always concerned how the inside of a sauna footage is going to look, but also the sound. It's been very easy to do these reviews in these saunas because there's a lot of natural light, which is nice. Now let's talk about the heater. So currently using the Huum drop, which this is a 4.5 kilowatt heater. And because of the size of this room, this heats this place up really, really fast, and it gets really, really hot. 230 degrees is where it maxes out. Now that's really hot. You don't need to go 230 degrees. A lot of people are talking about between 175 and 212 degrees being that sweet spot. I'm curious, if you do sauna, like, what's your temperature range? What is something that you really enjoy? Truthfully, I enjoy that 212 to 220. I like it really, really hot. I can spend a little bit less time in there, but it's nice to be able to reach those hot temperatures with this. But here's a cool little hack that we kind of mentioned earlier in the video, is using this bucket and ladle. Once you have your rocks a little bit hot, you know, I'm talking 130 plus degrees, you can pour water on the rocks, and because there's so much rock volume here, steam can get really, really thick in here really fast. So if you have the sauna, or you do end up getting the sauna, definitely try that out. I think you'll really enjoy it. And as far as where the temperature reads from, the Huum thermometer is actually right here at head level. So you want it at head level because that's where your body is going to feel the temperature, and that's really why people wear those sauna hats, those goofy looking hats that you see a lot of sauna users wearing. What that does is it actually protects your head from overheating. Knowing the temperature at head level is really, really important. So don't do a hack and move your thermometer down or anything like that. You want to know exactly what the temperature is at head level inside your sauna. And I've seen a few saunas coming out lately where the heater is actually lifted up off the ground. As I've learned more, having your heater lower to the ground is going to help elevate your sauna experience, because obviously heat rises. So you want to have the rocks like right around your feet. And that's another reason why it's cool that you could sit in here with your feet up on the bench like this, because that'll allow for your entire body to really feel the benefits of the sauna. Now, if you do decide to purchase a SISU sauna, I'll have a link down in the description below with a discount code you're more than welcome to use. But let's talk about a few things that you are also going to have to prepare for. You will need a licensed electrician to come and actually hook this up. You're going to need 220 volts, and you are going to need 30 amps, which is really cool. A lot of saunas are recommending 50, but with SISU Sauna, they've definitely figured out how to make it a little bit more efficient using 30 amps, which is really, really nice. Now, building it is another story. A lot of times taking a look at a barrel sauna like this could seem like a daunting task to actually install and build yourself. But what's cool is down here at the bottom are the cradles, and that's really one of the most important parts. Having the cradles set aside and making sure that they're perfectly centered, perfectly even is always one of the scariest moments, because if you don't have it perfectly even, perfectly centered, the rest of the barrel sauna is going to be difficult to build. They come with guides already installed, so your middle stave, which is the first start of this all, is perfectly centered when you set your cradle down. It makes every other piece very, very simple, and it goes on really, really easily. And if you do purchase one, you'll get a video that'll walk you through how to put it together, and it's really easy to follow along. Now, I want to talk about these because a lot of people have actually asked me, what are these straps for? Well, these straps actually hold your barrel together. You see, the crazy thing about this being cedar is wood will like expand and contract a little bit with heat and with water and with moisture. So using these bands will hold your barrel sauna together, and you're actually going to want to tighten it over time. Like after about 5-10 uses, you're going to want to tighten it down and just make sure that all those gaps are filled in. It's going to allow your heat to stay in your sauna, but it's also going to keep the water out as well, and the bugs. So it's a little out of routine for me, but I do always enjoy measuring and getting the exact measurement. So from side to side, you're looking at just under 6 feet. for the barrel itself. Now, if you do get the roof kit, you're gonna get this little trim piece, and it's gonna add a little bit of room. Now, from the floor to the roof, if you have the roof kit, you're gonna be at 75.5 inches, so just over 6 feet. Call it 6 feet 4 inches. Now, with the Eddy barrel, from the back to the front is 4 feet. So the overall footprint you're gonna need for this sauna is 6 feet by 4 feet, which is awesome. You could put this indoors, outdoors, in a gym, in a room, and it's not gonna take up a lot of room, which I think is awesome. To have a sauna that can get to 230 degrees, that can fit on such a small footprint, is really, really cool. And there's one thing that I know you can't experience from a video, but I can experience, and after being in and reviewing a lot of different saunas, I will say, like, one of the biggest points on SISU that I've noticed is their wood. It's thicker and it's smoother. Like, it really does look like somebody hand sanded every single piece on this. And a lot of times people will say, oh, they're hand selected and hand built, but that doesn't really mean too much. But like, when you look at this wood and you touch it and you feel it, it literally feels like every piece has been sanded by hand. It's all very, very smooth and fits together really well. Now, while we're here on the front, another thing is the door. The door looks pretty large. Like, there's a pretty good clearance, and I'm 6'1", so being able to just kind of step in, measure this opening, because I do think that people of all different shapes and sizes are gonna be getting into a sauna. You have 55 inches in the door as far as the height goes, and as far as the width goes, you have 18 inches. So it's a pretty wide door, and you do have a nice piece of glass on the front to let that natural light in. And another thing I really like about it is the door is really solid. Not only is it a solid door, it seems to be extremely flush. Like, it fits really, really well. And instead of using cheap magnets that can fall off, like, they're literally bolted into the door and into the doorway. So when you shut this thing, it's shut. Like, it's not gonna accidentally open up. And then when you have it open, it opens up really, really wide too. Geez, which is really nice. Now I want to measure the inside, right? So this is where you're actually going to be. So let's talk about how much room you have. So from wall to wall, and it's all usable space, you've got just over 40 inches, right? 40 inches inside here. As far as the width goes, and the widest point, you've got 68 inches. So it's a good amount of room inside here. From the floor, which is flat, all the way to the ceiling, you've got just around 65 inches, so over 5 foot of clearance. And then one of the things that I like a lot is the bench width. So this entire bench is 18 inches wide, which allows for a very comfortable experience sitting down, but also sitting sideways. And because both walls are flat, if you're into elevating your feet and down regulating, you can actually put your feet up on the wall and down regulate while you're doing the sauna. This also lifts your feet up into the heat and is gonna allow your entire body to really feel the benefits. And then as a bonus, this window is 15 inches by 12 inches. So once again, that allows for a lot of natural light to come in. And if you have a really cool view out the back or the front, you've got a really nice size window to look out and check out those views. All right, so we've talked about the price, we've talked about the specifications, we've talked about a lot of really interesting things. Now let's talk about the million-dollar question. Who is the Eddy barrel sauna really for? I think the Eddy barrel sauna is for anybody who has a smaller space and they want to get really hot. I love that this can get to 230 degrees, so you have a lot of fluctuation. And the nice thing is you don't have to guess. Using this temperature gauge, you can actually adjust the temperature from 104 degrees all the way up to 230 degrees, and you can dial it into the exact temperature, and that's Fahrenheit, which is awesome. Like, to be able to pick the exact number. Let's say that my wife is just getting started in sauna and she doesn't want to get into a 220 degree sauna. We can literally adjust it down to 150 degrees to let her get started and gradually raise that temperature as she's becoming more heat adapted. And then for me, let's say 212 degrees is perfect, but I want to adjust it to 215 and just kind of play around with different temperatures. Kind of like all the cold plunges that I do reviews of, where you can literally dial the temperature down to that exact temperature. It's really nice to be able to do the same thing with a sauna. And unfortunately, not a lot of saunas are really good at that. But having this Huum drop heater in this SISU sauna works as a great combination. It's also perfect for somebody who wants like that set it and forget it style sauna. Like, this isn't gonna take a lot of maintenance, and there's a lot of people out there that are gonna argue with me and say, no, you need to seal it, or no, you need to do all these different things. The cool thing about this high quality cedar that SISU is using is you do not have to seal it. Now you can, if you want to, you can waterproof it if you want to, but you actually don't have to. And that's the benefit of paying a little bit more for a quality cedar, is it's going to last a lot longer outside in the elements. And if you're one of those people who gets this sauna and puts it in your garage gym, in your spare bedroom, or in your garage period, it's gonna last obviously a lot longer because it's protected from the elements. So it's a great sauna for anybody who's looking to get really hot, have the ultimate flexibility to change that temperature. But also, I think what's cool about this is it's a 2-person sauna that you can easily fit 4 people into. And I do also like that it's a 2-person sauna that you can sit sideways in. You can down regulate by putting your feet up on the wall because there's not a lot of stuff in your way. It's a flat wall all the way up and down on both sides. And where the heater's positioned, you don't have to worry about your arm accidentally bumping into that heater, which you don't want to ever happen. It's in a really great spot. Now, if you have any questions that I didn't go over in this video, please pop them down in the comments below. I'll answer every question possible. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you do decide to get yourself a SISU sauna, I'll have a link down in the description below with a discount code that you can use that SISU has graciously given me to share with you. All right, my friends, so there is the SISU Eddy sauna. High quality sauna, takes up a small footprint. I'd say it's something you should consider, but the question is this something that you're gonna consider? So if you have any questions, pop them down in the comments below. I'll make sure to answer every question. If you're interested in buying yourself a SISU sauna, I will have a link down in the description with a discount code that you're more than welcome to use. If you have a friend looking for a sauna and they need that nudge, that push, share this video with them. If this video is great, like it, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube stuff, but more importantly, have a great day. I'll see you on the next video, and God bless.